Good afternoon, everyone. I guess I'm not loud enough. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Mike Lynch, and with me here is President-elect Brian Roberts. We're doing this together because we want to do two things. First, we want to acknowledge and thank you, our lunchtime sponsor, SmartWorks Partners. Thank you very much. And this is the time in the schedule when we make a presentation of the Jane Lawton Commemorative Award. The Jane Lawton Award is presented annually at NATOA to elected officials to recognize years of service, extraordinary service on behalf of local government. It was created in memory of the Honorable Jane Lawton, who had served as mayor of Chevy Chase, delegate to the Maryland State House, and president of our NATOA. And I think the fellows in the corner are going to share with you.
Award was president, chapter liaison, and committee member. Jane also served as Montgomery County, Maryland's cable administrator for more than 10 years. In this capacity, Jane negotiated cable franchises, oversaw the county's cable and telecommunications activities, including 13 PEG channels, an institutional network, and special projects, including digital equity for youth and seniors. Before her election to the Maryland House of Delegates in 2005, Jane served 4 terms as the mayor of the town of Chevy Chase, Maryland, was active on the Maryland Municipal League State Legislative Committee, and chaired numerous citizen boards and commissions. Jane was a public servant with great commitment, great courage, and great compassion. She dedicated her energy and talents to enriching the lives of others. Today, we honor her legacy by recognizing elected officials who advocate on behalf of local government and community media interests. Jane E. Lawton, friend, mentor, and champion of the people.
I want to thank Donna Keating and the folks of Montgomery County for putting together that video. Donna, are you in the room? You did a beautiful job. I could listen to you all day. Why aren't you up here doing this? The recipient of this year's Jane Lawton Commemorative Award is Mayor Sam Liccardo of the city of San Jose, California, for his outstanding local and national leadership on communications policies and issues. Mayor Liccardo very clearly personifies the qualities of Jane Lawton, years of extraordinary service to local governments and communities across the country. Mayor Liccardo's Smart City Vision, which he launched in 2016, serves to leverage technology and data to improve safety, services, and quality of life. Under his leadership, San Jose has succeeded in closing the homework gap and expanding broadband access to thousands of high school students and families. Mayor Liccardo worked diligently to engage the FCC's Broadband Development Advisory Committee, BDAC, and the wireless industry in constructive dialogue to bridge the digital divide. Throughout his tenure, he advocates for local governments, rural communities, and the underserved. We recognize his commitment to equitable broadband deployments and advocating for local government's role.
When Mayor Liccardo resigned from the BDAC due to the lack of representation and input for local government, NATOA applauded the hard work and advocacy of Mayor Liccardo and also Chief Innovation Officer Shireen Santosham in representing concerns of our cities, towns, and counties on the BDAC. More recently, in June, San Jose announced an innovative set of agreements with Verizon, AT&T, and Mobility that will expedite the deployment of small cell infrastructure while raising funds for digital inclusion programs. His dedication to his community can best be summarized with his own words to the people of San Jose. We can provide a great civic gift to our children and grandchildren, a San Jose that establishes a new standard for public safety, environmental sustainability, civic innovation, and shared prosperity. It is great pleasure that we honor Mayor Sam Liccardo as the 2018 Jane E. Lawton Award winner. Accepting the award on behalf of Mayor Liccardo and San Jose is Shireen Santosham, Mayor Liccardo's Chief Innovation Officer. I think all of us recognize that Shireen was truly a force of nature throughout the BDAC activity of 2017. Without her diligence, advocacy, and constant communication, she gave a great voice to local government in a committee where we had been shut out effectively. So thank you.
One photo for Jody here. Oh. Brian? All right. I should be giving this to you. Thanks, everyone. Sheree.
Thank you so much for the award. Mayor Liccardo sends his regrets today. He is in a city council meeting, and as many of you in this room know, the work of local government happens in these everyday meetings outside of the spotlight, and it's such important work, and we're very thankful to NATOA for the award, but also to all the other cities and counties across the country that stood with us in raising our concerns around the digital divide and broadband deployment, including the U.S. Conference of Mayors, National League of Cities, NACO, and many others in this room. I want to just say that in the end, all of the noise that we're hearing across the country, we will be judged by our ability to deploy broadband to all Americans and make sure that we don't leave people behind in the process. Today, as we move to the next generation of the internet, if we don't make sure that everyone is served, we will only widen inequality in the country. And so I encourage everyone in the room to not only think about the next year, the next 2 years, but to think about what this means for the next generation of young Americans, for what our country will look like and how competitive we will be, and what kind of society we want to develop. And that's really the vision that Mayor Liccardo has laid out in San Jose to make sure that all the children in Silicon Valley can have access to Silicon Valley companies. And so we want to thank you for joining us in this conversation, and we will be continuing to work at the national as well as the local level. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Terry Holmes, Senior Vice President, SmartWorks Partners. And SmartWorks Partners is a company that helps municipalities like yours fight the fight that Shireen and Mayor Liccardo have been fighting in California. So we help with broadband policy, telecom policy, strategies, and asset monetization and management. Shireen, thank you so much for those kind words. If only we could get our state legislators to understand exactly what you just said, it'd go a long way. I've been asked to introduce our next speaker today, Christy Dalton. Christy is going to be our keynote speaker, and she is the founder and CEO of Government Social Media, LLC. She has extensive experience in both government and private industry, and is frequently asked to advise government agencies on digital strategies. Christy is a creator and host of GovGirl, we've all seen that, right? A unique online video show focused on government innovation. What started off as a tiny blog about her experiences during her 10-year career in government turned into a popular video service followed by government employees across the country. I'm not a government employee, but I follow your articles. Christy is a proud alum of Northern Illinois University, where she holds a master's degree in communications and graduated with honors. So please welcome me in introducing Christy Dalton to the stage, and bear with her because she does have a cold, so she might be a little squeaky today.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Natoans. I'm excited to deliver some luncheon keynote remarks for the 2018 NATOA conference. I have to say that my 13-year-old stepson, he was ridiculously excited that I was going to be speaking, and I come to find out that he thought I was saying the Nutella conference. He's a real big fan. At any rate, social media over the last year has had some tremendous changes and tremendous influence. And social media used to be a lot like my kids. It was kind of useful, kind of annoying. Don't tell them I said that. But over the last year, social media has behaved a lot more like my husband, in that has a tremendous influence over my daily life. Unlike my husband, social media has, over the last year especially, had a significant influence over the country as Americans. So I plan to speak with you today about this. I'm sure that most of you have noticed that we're living in a social media world. It is not just something that we kind of do, it's something that has permeated into everything that we do. And mobile is everywhere. And I know that in this conference you're talking about many of these things. And for those of us who study social media, what has happened even over the last year is tremendously important. We're coming under a lot of scrutiny with social media and government, social media ads, and also with regard to how the social media companies are treating government and government in publishing ads. How many of you remember this? Kylie Jenner tweeted over the last year, "So does anyone else not open Snapchat anymore? Is it just me?" She was voicing her concern. I know half of you are like, who's Kylie Jenner? Well, trust me, your kids know who Kylie Jenner is. And the idea is that she was dissatisfied about some interface changes with Snapchat, and a lot of other people were. She tweeted this, and then you might remember the headlines after that. The fact that Snapchat lost $1.3 billion in the stock market. $1 billion. A lot of the headlines were attributing this to her tweet. Social media is ingrained in everything, and it's starting to have offline impact as well. Interestingly, Facebook has admitted that there have been Russian influencers or attempting to influence the 2016 election. And this has been all over the news during the past year, and government agencies are seeing a lot of the ramifications of this when they're trying to post political ads. And initially it started off that all government ads were being designated as political ads. And this is certainly not the case for most government agencies. Coincidentally, it was never Sarah Palin that said the words, "I can see Russia from my house." This was actually Tina Fey a couple days later after Sarah Palin back in 2008, and she was campaigning after she had an interview where she said something